From Anthony Field at Wildcat Stadium, welcome to ACU Football's 2018 Signing Day Show. I'm Grant Boone alongside the head coach of the ACU Football Wildcats, Adam Dorrel. And wherever you are, joining us here in person or watching us around the world on acusports.com, welcome to Wildcat Stadium for what is always one of the biggest days of the year. 24 young men have committed to play football for ACU. And as we sit here surrounded by names and faces of some of the greats to ever play for ACU football, these young men will have a chance soon enough to make names for themselves. Coach, can't help but think about 1 year ago on signing day. This facility wasn't ready. Right. It was still under construction. Your coaching tenure at ACU was still a little bit under construction, wasn't it? You'd been there just for a few weeks. Help us understand what a vast difference it is this year, signing day, compared to last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It just having the more time that we've had and our staff has had has been absolutely godsend for us. We just have felt such more organization and felt like we were very thorough this year, where last year we hit the ground and tried to do the best we could. And so it's been a great year.
A lot of folks I know you want to thank here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple people, Todd Mullins and Scott Deloney. Thanks, Todd, for the graphics. They were unbelievable. Grant Abson's here. Grant, and he's with us all the time. He's here every weekend that we have recruits. He does so much of the legwork. So wherever Grant's at, thanks, man. We really appreciate it. Seth Wilson for the PowerPoints, helping us out with that. Becky Brown, thanks, Becky, for helping get set up. And Mackenzie Nelson. Chad Williams and our new compliance officer. Where's Chad at? Chad's been great. Thanks a lot. He does a lot of work for us. And Lisa Gilmore and then Lance Fleming. Thanks, Lance, for helping us through all this. And then just our coaching staff, man. Most of those guys are here. Some of them were finishing up with some meetings and stuff. But they did a phenomenal job of going out and finding just quality young men.
Full court press for the last several weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, with the extra signing day in December 20th, these guys have been on the road a lot.
And we will meet all of the 24, those who signed in the early signing period and the ones who announced their signing today here in just a bit. As you went across the country, you and your coaches, looking for players who would be the right fit for this university to play football, what was your message to them about what they could expect from playing for you and from the ACU experience as a whole? Yeah,
as a head coach, I've always tried to sell everything that you have as a university. And to me, with our recruiting pitch, it starts with the type of university ACU is. We talk a lot about academics because those are the type of kids that we want. We're looking for kids that want a complete experience, a spiritual experience, a football experience, and an academic experience. And so that's our message to kids and families this year, and our guys did a great job of getting that out.
Well, you've got one academic stud after another, don't you, as you look up and down this group. Let's talk about the offense first. 24 players, 13 offensive players, 11 on defense. You have said to me many times in pregame and postgame shows and the Adam Dorrel show that is on local television here, you want the cornerstone of your offense to be a physical running attack. That's reflected in this recruiting class, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the number of O-linemen that we signed and the tight ends and the backs, we just felt like we needed to improve our depth there and improve our quality and just get kids in here that could help us do that.
Well, let's meet the 13 offensive players first, beginning with an offensive lineman, Dwayne Anthony.
Yeah, Dwayne, great athlete, great feet, natural tackle. Dwayne threw the shot put 57 feet last year as a junior, so looking for a lot of big things out of him.
And he comes from some ACU folks. Nathan Young, former offensive coordinator, great All-America lineman, and Josh Perez down there at Madison High School as well. Coach, you get a tight end from Las Vegas, Nevada. He played junior college ball in Southern California. Tell us a little bit about the tight end, Jordan Bruner.
Yeah, Jordan, unique. He spent most of his career as a defensive player, and you really see that in his play. He likes playing on the line of scrimmage, runs well for a kid his size, and just really physical kid.
You're going to see some of these highlights of these players as they go by here. And so you start out with an O-lineman and a tight end. Next up, somebody's got to throw the ball, and you have Luke Anthony, who was tremendous last year as a redshirt freshman. But you bring in a kid from Graham, not too far away from Abilene, a school with a recent history of prolific passers. He threw for 4,000 yards, more than 50 touchdowns in steering Graham to the state semifinals. Tucker Horn.
Yeah, Tucker's a quality young man. If you look at what he's done in the classroom, a phenomenal ACT score. what he does in the community. The thing that I like about him, you watch some of his sophomore film to junior film to senior film, he got better each and every year, and he's a great leader, and he's going to be a really good fit for ACU.
Dad Jeff played baseball and football here at ACU. Another offensive lineman, this one from north of the Red River, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, up near Tulsa. Tell us about Trace Jeffries.
Yeah, Trace has played multiple positions in his career. He's been a tackle, guard, and center. We're going to start him off at guard right now. Very good puller, natural puller. He's done a really good job battling an injury late in his senior year, and that was really hard on him. But he's almost to the point where he can start running and working out again, but just think he's got a really good upside.
One of the two wide receivers you've signed is a young man from Stratford High School in Houston. A lot of folks know that as the alma mater of guys like Jimmy and David Klingler and Andrew Luck, among others. He comes to you after a couple of years at Trinity Valley Community College. Torrin Justice.
Yeah, we really like Torrin's length, his reach, his catch radius. I feel like he's going to be a really good target for our quarterback in the red zone to go up. Kind of like we started developing towards the end of the year with Troy Grant. We feel like Torrin can step in and take over that role.
You went to Southern California to find a quarterback from the JUCO ranks, high IQ kid, football IQ and overall IQ. Tell us about Cole Clayman.
Yeah, same thing with Cole. Again, with what we do, we're looking for quarterbacks that have high intellect, and I feel like he fits that mold. He's a guy that's got a really good arm, can make the throws that you need to make, and just has a really solid, family background and academic background as well.
One of the best junior college leagues in the country is that Jayhawk Conference up in Kansas. It was at Butler Community College, which averaged more than 180 yards per game on the ground, that you found 6'2", 290-pound offensive lineman who turns 20 this Friday, by the way, Tyler Levette.
Yeah, we're excited about Tyler. Tyler has 3 years left, not just 2, and so he's a center. We've got him working at center right now. He's played some guard. A lot of power. I just feel like he's very raw. Just got a really, really big upside, and we're excited about him.
Most of these transfers are already on campus and in school this semester, and that group includes a dynamic athlete. He played quarterback at Rouse High School in Leander down near Austin before heading west to play for the California Golden Bears. As a running back, you bring him back to the Lone State. He's an exciting player, Billy McCrary.
Yeah, it's I don't have time to go into the story on how we found Billy. He basically sent me an email, I think, Coach Walsh, but you started looking at him immediately. He's electric. He's a game changer. We think he's going to be a really good 1-2 punch with Tracy back there. They're just so different in the way they run. Billy's ability to catch the ball out of the backfield on swing passes, he's going to be a tough matchup for linebackers.
Injured last year, fully healthy now?
Yes, he's up and going right now and just doing a lot of great things.
Another running back, this one from Parkway High School in Bossier City, Louisiana. He averaged 10 yards a carry his senior season, more than 1,000 all-purpose yards. How about Robert McKnight? Yeah,
Robert is one that's not here yet. He's finishing up at the junior college. A very interesting story. This was his first year there. He redshirted. He has 4 years of eligibility left. Feel like he's going to be a great special teams player, return guy. He can play slot receiver and running back and had a really good career moving around. So we're just excited to get our hands on him. Feel like it's going to be a great weapon.
Back to the offensive line, you get a 6'5", 255-pounder from White House High School in East Texas. He'll celebrate his 18th birthday Saturday, gets an early present, signing with the Wildcats, Mitchell Melrose.
Yeah, when you're dealing with recruiting a 32 ACT guy, that's a little bit different. So very intelligent.
It's up in Adam Dorrel territory,
yes,
isn't
it is. Yes, it's right up there, Grant. You look at him, his length, his ability to grow, and we're just trying to find tackles in our program, more tackle-type bodies, and he really fits that. Great family, and, again, just an unbelievable student, and just a lot of upside.
A guy who's going to be tough to tackle for opposing secondaries is down the other way on I-20 West, one of the storied programs in America, Odessa Permian, Yolanda wide receiver, who, by the way, last night helped the Mojo basketball team clinch the district title. It's Javorian Miller.
Yeah, Javorian. So just so everybody knows, you'll probably hear the word brother. He goes by Brother. That's the name he goes by. Dynamic athlete, length good, I think 6'1", 6'2", in that range. He can play outside or he can play inside. Catches the ball really well in traffic, got great ball skills. I know our guys have been out to watch him play basketball, and they just are really excited about what we have there. Again, quality young man, quality student.
One more O-lineman to bolster your rushing offense. You bring in a man from Washougal, Washington, a city whose name means rushing waters. How about Dakota Napierkowski?
Yeah, strange thing, man, recruiting. We actually recruited him out of high school. So when we first got here last year, he was a kid that was available. Looked at him, didn't work out. He went to Snow Junior College. Again, the great thing about Dakota, he has 3 years left. Very tall, rangy kid. He's on campus. We already know from the weight room strength coaches that he's hyper-competitive young man, very tough physically, and so we're excited to have him.
You love that, don't you?
We do.
Oh,
We need that. We need that grit and toughness.
Yeah, you get 11 game days a year, and if you make the playoffs a few more, there are a whole bunch of other days in the year where you need guys
exactly
competing.
right.
All right, one more offensive player, 6'6", 220-pound tight end from Anaheim, California, by way of Cerritos College, which is a terrific junior college, Kevin Ventura Cortez.
Yeah, Kevin, we're going to do a lot of things with him. Coach Montgomery's working with him right now. He can be a wing back. We're going to flex him out. You know, Kevin spent a lot of his career playing like a slot receiver. He's just so big when you see him on campus. We're excited. We feel like he's going to be a really good friend for the quarterback in the red zone and on third down. Again, he's going to cause some matchup issues on linebackers. 5'0"
lineman, and then a couple of tight ends, couple of wide receivers, couple of running backs, couple of wide receivers. You like this offensive bunch,
We do. It was very, very proud of our staff. We thought it was a very diverse group, just kind of like our whole recruiting class was. But we just, as a coach, you feel like you got some new toys in the toy box. And so these guys are already figuring out ways that we're going to be able to get these guys the ball and just try to utilize their talents.
Among our audience here on site, we've got a couple of your predecessors, guys who won national championships, the great Wally Bullington, the great DeWitt Jones, both members of the ACU Sports Hall of Fame, along with some other ACU Sports Hall of Fame members like Garner Roberts and others. I also see some of your coaching staff and Coach Tremaine Jackson, your defensive coordinator, who last year in his first year really revamped this ACU defense. From 2016 to 2017, 8.5 points less allowed per game and almost 100 yards less allowed per game. And as you look at the overall defensive mindset, what is it for your team?
Well, I think it's just to be really fundamentally sound. Our guys do a great job. They're great teachers. We've got kids playing team football. They're gap sound. They use fundamentals. And there's a lot of stats in there, Grant. I think we went from, being worst in the Southland to in the top four or at fourth, and you're going from second to the last nationally to the top half nationally in 1 year's time. And those guys have done a great job. And, I hadn't made any secret when I took this job. If you want to win a championship, you've got to be great on defense, and I really believe that. And our guys we're off to a great start on that. And this class is really going to help bolster that as well.
Let's mention a couple of other of your coaches. As you look around and see them, I see your offensive coordinator, Josh Lamberson, back there as well.
Yeah, he's there. Blake's here. Ryan's here.
Ray Brown's back
Ray
there.
Brown. I think everybody's here. Ja'Cory, thanks for making it. Ja'Cory walked in late, but he made it. Matt
Montgomery,
here, Duran, JW. I think most of them are here.
That's
so
great.
We're excited. Thanks for being here, guys.
Well, let's meet your 11 defensive players. How about this? 3 linemen, 2 linebackers, 6 defensive backs. You have a dime package that you basically recruited as you look at it. Let's meet them, beginning with the defensive back and a really good jumper, track and field, long jump, triple jump from Tampa, Florida, Coffeyville Community College. He makes the leap now to Division I football, Jeremiah Baltrop.
Yeah, it's one of the things, when you guys start seeing these kids around campus or in spring football, I think the thing you'll really notice about our corners and safeties that these guys have done is our length. We've improved exponentially with just our length and our reach. He's got great ball skills, plays hard, breaks on a football, and he's just a very competitive kid.
From Dickinson, Texas, near Houston, you get a safety. You don't get a whole lot of 6A All-State guys, but you get one, 78 tackles, 8 picks his senior year, Brian Broussard.
Yeah, the thing you notice about Brian on film, does a great job of inverting into the box and tackling. And with what these guys do and what we do on defense, you've got to have a kid back there that can be physical, can get down there and make tackles. And it's just in college football nowadays, that safety position's hard to play because they've got to be able to cover, but they still got to be able to support the run.
Let's take a look at another corner, this one from storied South Oak Cliff High School in Dallas. Give us the goods on Phil Dixon.
Yeah, excited about Phil. Long, rangy kid, runs really well. And when you see him, he kind of looks maybe a little bit unassuming, but then you watch his film, man. That dude, he loves playing on the line of scrimmage. He loves pop jamming receivers, and he's a kid, when you watch him play, you can really tell he loves the game of football.
You mentioned that, we mentioned earlier that you do say goodbye to some players. Sam Denmark is one of the guys that you say goodbye to, the all-time leading tackler, and one of the guys you're bringing in to fortify that position. Very much like Sam Denmark, a smart cookie, first-team All-State academically from Mansfield Lake Ridge, and a transfer from Trinity Valley, Jack Leachman.
Yeah, Jack started his career in our league at Southeast Louisiana and then transferred. And again, Jack, a very high IQ kid, football and in the classroom. Does a great job of playing in the box, but again, it shows the ability that he can get up and run a little bit too.
Our next two signees, in fact, hail from the Empire State of New York. First from Buffalo by way of Butler Community College, defensive back Alexander Lofton.
Yeah, again, just the thing you're going to love is his length, his ability to jump, play man coverage, and just great ball skills. But, you know, that length, we talk about, you know, for the O&D line, it's the same thing with the back end, those corners, to be able to find. These guys did a phenomenal job of finding long corners that, I mean, you've seen the receivers in this league.
Yeah.
You got to have guys like that.
Let's take a look at a 6'4", 260-pound D lineman from New York City, Queens, in fact. He spent a couple of JUCO seasons at Coffeyville in Kansas, Brian Miller Jr.
Yeah, Brian, same thing. Our guys are excited about him. Probably going to play the open side in, but long kid, rangy kid, great student. The thing with Brian we really like, Grant, is we feel like if we can, you know, get 4 to 5 months, quality months with him in the weight room and good nutrition eating, we feel like he's just going to blow up and has a chance to be a good player. Awesome personality, man. Can't wait for you to meet him. He's just got that natural gleam in his eye.
The King of Queens.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep it on the defensive line here for our next signee, a native of Nairobi, Kenya. He played at Mansfield Legacy, then Navarro College in Corsicana, Douglas Nyandika.
Yeah. Again, big upside. You know, our guys don't feel like he's come close to meeting his potential physically or mentally from the game of football standpoint. We're excited to get with him, working with him, and just to watch him grow. But again, when you see him, Doug, he's got that natural size about him, playing a little 3-tech, going to play some nose, and just trying to find the best place for him.
You know, most of these transfers that you're bringing in come from the junior college ranks, community colleges, but this next recruit played linebacker last season at Texas Tech and on special teams. A decorated high school player from Covington, Louisiana, John Piccone.
Yeah, again, recruiting, I don't have time to go into the story how we got a hold of John, but our guys did a really good job of when he was leaving, he was being courted by a lot of folks, and our guys did a really good job of selling him on how they were going to use him in our package. You watch his film, he is a phenomenal pass rushing linebacker. And in my experience, linebackers, they can either do that or they can't. And, man, it comes very natural for him. I think our guys are going to use him in the bear package and get him on tackles, isolated on tackles, and let him go get it a little bit. But physical, bring just a good sense of toughness to our program.
A speedy defensive back comes your way from McKinney High School, then Kilgore College. Tell us about Byron Robinson.
Yeah, excited about Byron. Again, that ability to run, change direction. He showed his ability to come up and actually tackle, which, you know, again, not all those guys love to do, but shows the ability to backpedal and break, and just versatile, high football IQ.
Back to the D-line, we find a 6'2" D tackle from Ridgepoint High School in Missouri City, yet another superstar in the classroom, Quint Titt.
Yeah, we're excited about Quint. You're going to look at him and go, man, that guy we need some time with him in the weight room to let him grow and develop. But, you know, for us, Grant, that's one of the things I think you'll see with a lot of these kids. Where we want to get in our program is we're trying to find kids that are tall, rangy, and we can develop. It's hard if you get a kid who's almost too big and weighs too much by the time you get him here, because in college they don't lose weight. They usually gain it. So a lot of these kids, they've got these great frames, and now we got to get them in here and get them going.
It is important to note that some of these players we're talking about today won't take the field until 2019. Right. And some of the guys we talked about on this show last year will finally get a chance after a marathon redshirt year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally getting a chance to take this Wildcat Stadium turf.
These guys are excited because we start spring ball March the 1st, and all the red shirt is the best of times and it's the worst of times. It's like the longest year in your life. I can speak from experience on that. But once you get through it and then you get into spring ball, you're like, man, I got
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there is, and it's refreshing for those kids.
One more on the defensive side of the field, a corner from Miami's Booker T. Washington, one of the legendary programs in Florida high school football, T.J. Williams.
Yeah, T.J., you know, we're looking at recruiting Florida a little bit right now, and I did that at my old school and just feel like there's a lot of really good talent down there. The thing you'll find with the Florida kids, they've just got a big upside because a lot of the coaches down there don't even work in the school. You know, the head coach does, and usually the two coordinators. And so He's very tall, rangy kid, very physical kid, and we're excited to have him.
We love Texas football here in Texas.
Yep.
They're pretty proud of their football down in Florida, by the way.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. The 24 young men who have committed to play football here at ACU, the signing class of 2018. It is probably important to note as well, Coach, isn't it? You as a former walk-on. There are some names we haven't mentioned today that are also joining the ACU football program, and we don't typically announce the walk-ons, but that's a huge part of what you're trying to build here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, from a walk-on standpoint, I can't talk about them right now, but it is. It's absolutely. That's one of the things we're trying to really rev up, and again, that's where Grant really comes in and helps us. He identifies a lot of those kids through their academic prowess, their background. You know, we're looking for kids with a faith-based background, high academics, or mom and dad alum, and that really can kickstart that walk-on portion of it. But that's one of the things we've turned our attention to. Recruiting, it never stops. You know, it's not like we're done today.
What's your line? That's a good line. It's like shaving.
It's like shaving.
If you don't do it every day, you look like a bum, right?
That's right.
So the Adam Dorrel.
We had a recruiting meeting this morning, and we'll have one again tomorrow, and turn our attention to walk-ons, and we're going to bring those kids on campus and evaluate them and talk to them and make sure they fit the culture. And then, we will literally February the 19th, our guys will start logging kids already for next year, and just got a lot of exciting things coming up on April the 6th. We're going to do a Friday Night Light kind of themed spring football game, and we'll bring all these kids that we signed here, and then we're going to invite our top juniors to campus. And so it's exciting times right now.
That's a big weekend because the Don Smith Memorial Golf Tournament is the next day on that Saturday. Don, a legendary player and assistant coach, one of the great recruiters in ACU football history. We raise a lot of money for recruiting at that event. We launched the First Down Club for folks giving at least $1,000 a year. It goes for football recruiting. You've got 9 states represented among these 24 players. You couldn't go – literally, you're going northwest – Pacific Northwest, Washington State, down to Florida. You couldn't do that without the financial support of your supporters, could you?
And I appreciate you saying that. The thing that's been so exciting for me and our staff is just the generosity of people here at ACU, and that's something really new to me, and it's something I'm still getting to know some of these folks, but it's really cool when you go out, and I'm getting ready to go out and start meeting some of these folks and just hearing their story. And they all have a different story, but it all comes back to the same thing, that ACU was just such a great experience for them. But, you know, with what we're trying to do, Grant, and with the culture that we're trying to build here, we're going to recruit Texas as much as we can. But when you start looking at all the aspects of ACU, you know, we've got to be able to recruit nationwide, and to have those resources to do that's really important. So we're excited for all these folks that are helping us.
I think I counted 205 days till you take the field on September 1st against Baylor. Did that you didn't want to hear that, do you?
Yeah, not right now.
Right. September 1st doesn't exist right now.
We got a lot of work to do before then.
But do lay out for us the schedule coming up here, because you do have spring ball. I know you still have some recruiting of some that you'll continue to do in April and May, and looking at some guys who maybe didn't wind up where they wanted to be on some depth charts around the country. So lay out for us these next few weeks.
Yeah, so, you know, right now our guys are doing off-season conditioning. We have a group that goes at 5:30 in the morning, and we have a group that goes in the afternoon at 3:30. We're just hammering away on that right now. Our guys are getting together on their own, doing some throwing, stuff like that. We'll go through February doing that, winter conditioning. We do spring ball March the 1st, and we go 6 practices. We go on spring break. We come back. April the 6th is the spring game, Don Smith Golf Tournament. Our guys will take about 4 days off to brief their kids. We'll go on the road, spring recruiting. That goes to mid-May. We'll take a little time off in May. The players get back here June the 1st. We'll go for about 29 days in June. Take a little break for 4th of July, come back, go all July 4th, and then I think we start camp on like July 27th or 28th or something like that. Get 24 practices in August, and then we'll get on the road and head for Baylor. So it's exciting, man. I'm excited. I think people that are around our team organization every day can feel it just feels different. That's the only thing I can say, and I think people have sensed that, and our strength coaches are doing a phenomenal job, and we saved 4 spots, and intentionally we've done that, and we're looking for some O&D linemen, quite honestly looking for drop-down kids that'll go through spring football at FBS schools that get beat out, and they don't want to spend their last couple years not playing. And so, our guys are very well connected, and, we'll start reaching out to our colleagues at those schools and kind of putting a bug in their ear. Hey, man, if you're going to lose anybody, let us know. And so just a lot of exciting things right now.
This is a day to exhale, isn't it? It's been a long grind, and your coaches have earned a chance to take a moment to celebrate. This is one of the kind of the holidays of college football, isn't it? We think about a day like this, and it is a time to just reflect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, I think the thing you've noticed about me in 2 years, I try not to talk too much about one individual kid. Anybody who follows football closely enough, recruiting is not an exact science. It's not. And so the thing that we do, these guys have done a phenomenal job of, is just, basically background checks on the kids. And what I have found is if you find a kid that it's got stability at home, if you find a kid that's got a good academic background and it's got some grit and toughness to him that knows how to work, you start looking at
That's your time to take a break. Yeah.
Start looking at our guys and, finding out what other things they're doing, service organizations. These guys, do they have jobs?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that goes into recruiting other than the physical talent. And I'm proud of these guys because they did a phenomenal job, I feel, of finding these kids. Every kid's different. Some kid will come in here and man, he'll take off immediately. And another kid, it may be 2-3 years down the road before he plays. But it's just really exciting right now. And today is a great day, and it should be celebrated.
Well, congratulations to you and to your entire coaching staff. Thanks to all of you for joining us here in person, and congratulations to the 24 young men who've committed to play football at ACU. We hope and pray that these next few years that you're on campus will not just be great for you on the football field, but off as well. And to all of you watching online, thanks for watching the ACU Football 2018 Signing Day show. And as always, we say, go Wildcats.